And that's another problem with religious people, religions and shit. My friend's dad wouldn't let us play Dungeons and Dragons in the house because it would invite evil spirits into their home. No, it won't, you bloody stupid idiot. Well, you're 5 years old. Well, the boogeyman's gonna come in and get me because I played the bad game. Fucking Jumanji. All these spirits and magic and shit happening because of fucking the devil. Oh, it's the devil's game. Oh, no. Fucking stupid. I hate religion. It's fucking awful. Yes, mostly just Christianity, but, you know, they're all just a bunch of people believing fake shit for fucking... Oh, hi, everyone. Hello. It's that time again where I get to draw with my friends. Come on down, don't you frown. It's drawing time with you and cha. The religion, that's a bit of a hot topic, isn't it? A hot button issue. Hello everyone. Today I'm painting. It's a gun Viking page. Oh my god. He had his arms cut off, but then he got up. Shit, he got up. He's all right. By how it seems that he's all right. He might be okay. He might pull. Of course, he's all right. I've been talking for ages about all these fucking stories and ideas I've got. He's not gonna fucking die, is he? Jesus. He's an idiot too. Oh, Ewan, you're so edgy. All your foul mouth talk about religion and shit. Here was a funny thing. Here's how I'm doing. Seeing a therapist currently weekly, usually. I told him about a couple of my drawings because he knows I do art and stuff. Obviously, you know, that comes up at some point during the sessions, and it was that the little goblin sitting next to me, poking and prodding me, going, "You're shit. What are you doing?" And then the big goblin going, "You're really shit. What are you doing?" Oh, excuse me. I'm congested. It's the weather. Then the third drawing being me standing up on the desk, pissing on the goblins, going, "Yeah, fuck the lot of you cunts." I told him about those because, you know, that's sort of a good indication of you know, my mind, my thoughts, man. And he was like, "Oh, I'd like to see those." So I sent them to him, and then I sent them to him like in between, like just after a session. I was like, "Okay, cool, I'll send them now, and then we can talk about it next week or whatever." And during that time, he showed them to one of his supervisors, because I guess he's not a real fucking, I don't know, who is an analytical psychologist. So I guess someone who literally looks at that shit and analyses it. And she had some, you know, he told me what she thought about them. You know, she had some fairly insightful things to say about, you know, obviously where my mind is and how I think about myself and stuff. And then she also said the piss says a lot. Like, you know, the drawings and the goblins and the thing and the self-image and, you know, low self-worth and whatever. But then the piss, that's a whole other thing. I can't remember. Well, he didn't go in detail. It's not that I can't remember it. So he didn't really go into detail about what she said about the piss. Something about it, like being inside me and needing to get it out emotionally as opposed to actual piss. Like there's a need for me to really let out this shit that's inside me. Which, I mean, is actually very tame, because that's, for all the stuff you could say about someone's clear obsession with piss, you know, there's a lot you could say about it, but if all I have to deal with is there's obviously stuff inside me that I want to get out, but I don't necessarily have the means or inclination, then it's going to come out in these drawings of angry pissing, which is quite funny. Oh, I thought it was funny. I don't know. Jesus. I'm aware that because of my setup, if you can call it such, this isn't a great angle for videoing paintings. The light and everything, it gets glare on the thing, which is something I'm aware of and something I aim to remedy. I get another light and like a thing, I can angle it a bit so it works out. So that's stuff I will aim to get sometime soon. I still need a new scanner, because my old one's, well, not fucked, but it's not good. It's got filth under the glass, so just marks that I can't avoid, because, well, I mean, I probably could unscrew it, remove the glass, clean it. That might work. I don't know if it's like scratches or dirt or whatever, but that's a lot of effort to go through. And if I fuck it up, then, you know, I've fucked up my scanner completely. So I think my best course of action is to just fucking get a new scanner, which I can afford to, and I probably could afford a new light and a new sort of desk system. But the issue, especially now, like, I guess reasonably, I'm trying to be more careful with my money, because, you know, before, when I had a job, a proper day job or whatever, I didn't really care about my money, because it's like, I have a paycheck, I know I get this amount every month, so I can spend it on fucking whatever. I know, it's cool. But now, even if I have enough money for something, it's like, I might not necessarily make that money back the next month or whatever. Like, I might not get all the commissions I need, or I might not sell all the artwork I need to sell to make that money back. So when it comes to, like, I can afford to get a scanner, probably a pretty good one, like a decent one. But then it's like, that could also pay for like almost a month's rent or bills or food or whatever. It's like, it's a pretty difficult position to be in. And, you know, I'm sure there's lots of people out there in similar, if not much worse positions. So I'm not trying to say, oh, it's not fair. That's just where I'm at currently. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm dealing with currently. I got a new palette. It's really just a bit of card. It's backing card for comic books. That was my old one. It's just getting a bit lumpy and chunky. And I'm trying to... I used to just squeeze paint out loads and then use a little bit of it. But now I'm trying to just squeeze about as much as I need, as opposed to... Again, I can't be throwing all my money away buying new paint. So I've got to be careful. And, you know, I'm not super worried about money. I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to pay rent. I'm not going to pay bills. What am I going to do? But, you know, it's just something I have to keep in mind. It's a constant worry. It's constantly on my mind. So, you know, I think that's reasonable and fair. Oh, yeah, this is an addendum, something I forgot. It's one of the reasons I wanted to do, I think it was last week or whenever, when I did all about paper, the paper I use and whatever. One of the main reasons I wanted to do that was to show the paper I mentioned some of the paper I use to paint on a lot, but currently what I've been using is different paper. So I meant to show that in that video, but didn't, because I'm stupid. It's this mixed media art pad. So it's thicker paper designed for like doing shit on. It's like basically thin card. you can hear it's not just flimsy. Yeah, it's a slight grain to it, but not too much, so it's not rough to draw or paint on. It's pretty thick, really sturdy, and it holds paint very. So drawings go on it well, because if you do a drawing on paper like that, especially if it's a commission or something, it feels a bit more substantial rather than just some flimsy bit of copy paper. And I don't care about that, but I know if someone's paid for a drawing, they might want it to be on a slightly nicer paper stock. So I try to do that, but also with paint, it holds paint better. It doesn't warp as easily, and it's just nice. Yeah, it's just nice, isn't it? It's just nice. So I've put down let's start from scratch. This is a sketch. No, that's not even scratch. All right, let's. So, okay. Where's the fucking? God damn it! Preparedness, Ewan. What is it? So this was the last few pages of GV. Had his flashback, and he's like, you're just a little boy, you little shitty boy. I'm so mad. Rush, slunk, thud, thud. Because his fucking hands got cut off. Jesus, shitting Christ. What now? He collapses onto his knees with his hands there, and then he's fucking dead. Did that one smaller because there's no need to paint it huge because it takes longer. Every opportunity I get, I paint things smaller. This really could be a lot smaller than it is. I don't know why I did it so big, but whatever. So dead, and then they're gonna grab him, pick him up. They've got the girl, and he's like, yeah, fucking toss his body in the fire, do whatever you want with the girl. They're obviously gonna, squeeze her tits a bit, and then he's like, but sir, the the guy, and he's like, what the fuck? He stood up. He's bleeding, but he stood up, and people around him are like, oh, what's going on? He's fucking mad. And then this one, he's like, I'm trying to show tension in like his neck and his arms, and they're pulsing big. The muscles are huge. There's veins everywhere, and I'm trying to paint like blobs moving through the veins. It's quite a difficult thing to do in a still image where it just looks like bumps. So we'll see how well that comes out. So that was the first sketch I wasn't terribly happy with. I might still divide it here with just a white line on the comic page, and I was going to do this a bit bigger. I might Photoshop it like that just to see how it looks, to give some sort of emphasis. But I wasn't terribly happy with that, so I did this, which isn't much different, but it's a bit different, just different enough, a bit loose. I was getting a bit tight on this one, and like, make it work, gotta make it work. And in this one, I think you can see I was just like, doo-loo-loo, scribble, 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 lines, lines, lines. Nice big curvy lines to just get it all in there. And then I traced it on my good paper, and now here it is. So, yeah, I'm trying to show tension in the neck here. There'll be lots of sort of lines. And then bulgy muscles with lots of veins picked out, which I'll pull out even more so with the highlights. And then you can see like a couple here and here where I'm trying to paint those blobs, which is going to be in his vein, like stuff moving through his veins towards, the severed bit of his arm there. So, and this isn't really spoilers because I'm sure you've either all figured it out or you already knew. That's going to be where he grows guns out of his arms. Yeah. It's going to be fucking cool. It's actually going to be really cool, like in the book. I'm going to do... So this is going to be one full page. And then the next 4 or 5 pages are all going to be single images on the page of the guns growing out of his arms. Which is going to take quite a bit of working out because I'm not exactly sure how to go about drawing that because it's quite a lot. Because I can draw him with gun arms, I can draw him with arms cut off, I can draw him with guns where his arms used to be. But then to try to draw the in-between bits of like, because I want to draw like tendons and bones coming out and wrapping around each other, and then, but instead of bone, it's like metal, and then like gun barrels popping out with, you know, blood and tendons swishing around them and grabbing onto it and stretching out. So again, same with these bumps and blobs. It's like trying to do that as a still image is really hard. So that's going to take some working out. But I'll paint like 4 or 5 small still pictures of that, and then that'll be a whole sequence of, you know, 4 or 5 pages. And I'll put sound effects in of like stretch, pop, snap, crack, you know, scritch, blick, crack, shrip, blop, of his arms, you know, stretching and bulging out, turning into these guns. And then there'll be one full page of him with his gun arms going like, fuck yeah, I'm going to kill you all. Then 2 pages, each page will have 2 big panels of him shooting all like the guards and stuff, all the gimp guards, around. So one big panel, and then do that on 2 pages. So it's 1 page, gun Viking with gun arms, another page, 2 panels of people getting shot in different ways, another page, 2 panels, people getting shot in different ways, and then the 4th of those pages is gun Viking with his gun arms down, smoking with, you know, shells all around him, loads of dead bodies, blood and shit, victorious over them. And then he'll have his sights set on the big bad guy. So that'll be getting towards the end. So I am heading towards the end of this issue with this page. This marks, him with these bulging arms does mark sort of the last portion of this 4th chapter. And then I can have the fucking book done. Jesus. Also, I think that's I'm trying to keep an eye on my money for that as well, because I can just about happily afford to get it printed, assuming I sell enough to make them back. Which, I mean, I don't want to be too sort of self-assured about it, but I'm pretty confident I'll sell enough copies to pay for it just fine. But it's just something I need to keep an eye on, obviously. But yeah, so looking forward to that shit. Let's take a look at an art book. This is Moonshine, DreamWorks Artists After Dark. It's a collection, I assume. I've not really looked into it, but yeah. It goes beyond the day jobs of our artists and offers an explanation of each artist's creative breadth through a beauty. Yeah, it's work by DreamWorks artists, but like their own work, not the work they do commercially or for DreamWorks specifically. Let me make sure I've used a little bit of tape to denote where off camera is. Right, that's there. Okay. Just so I know, because I find a lot of the times I'll be looking at books and paintings and shit, and I'll be doing this or this. So I do try to put like a bit of tape now and again so I know where. This is a book. One thing I do like about this, 2010. This was when I was in university I found this book. This was actually gifted to me by a friend at university who had it, looked through it and went, yeah, I don't want this anymore, you have it. So now I've got it. One thing I do like about this is there's a huge breadth. I'm only using that word because I saw it there. It's a good word to use there, breadth. A lot of different types of artwork. It's not just a bunch of digital concept art by people who work for DreamWorks. It's fucking loads of shit. So right off the start, some sketchbooks with some digital bits. Obviously, that's like a drawing done in a sketchbook, scanned in or photographed or whatever, with digital colour and stuff on top. That's cool. Paint. We like paint. I'm not going to go through all the artists' names and stuff. For one thing, I don't fucking know who they are. Which is quite funny and sad, I guess, that it's the artists that really make the film like the film. I mean, to a greater or lesser extent. But it's also them who Oh God, my microphone. I don't know if any of this audio will be picked up. The Sorry, I went to check my microphone was plugged in, which it is, but then it was like resting on something, so I don't know how much shit has actually been picked up. So I guess I'll find out in the edit. Yeah, that's really cool. Engine or something, and that's all drawn and painted with actual drawn and paint. Ink and acrylic. There you go. Ink and acrylic on wood. Yeah, it's the artists that make the film to a greater or lesser extent what it is. And they're credited, but no one really knows who the artists are. Especially, I guess, because in terms of films, DreamWorks and Disney and whatever, it's one uniform look that they've all come together to create. So the artists, not that they're not irrelevant in the least, but it's a bit like, I don't know. Not that it doesn't matter who they are, but you don't necessarily see the input visually from the different artists, because really the artists are just using their skill set to create the film as opposed to putting their artwork in the film. So it's good to see stuff like this where you actually see the art, but even then, like, knowing all the artists, I mean, you might know one or two. That's really nice. Acrylic. That's really cool. Post-apocalyptic shit. That's really nice. Oh, I've got something coming out soon about signatures. Keep an eye out for that. Oh, that's really neat. Very, like, almost reminds me of Ashley Wood's paintings in terms of style, colour choices, and content, I guess. That's really neat. I like that. It's really, really cool, man, actually. I like that a lot. Oil on panel. Acrylic on panel. That's cute. Oh, it's like a story. In this wasteland, there's this guy in his suit. He's walking through the wasteland, and there's girls walking through the wasteland, and then they meet up. Aww. Oh, shit, okay. I think I know of this guy. I think I've seen his work, his like charcoal portraits and stuff. This guy's obviously a very traditionally educated artist. Like, this is how to make stuff look like stuff with charcoal, watercolors. That's so rich, man. That's so good. The way it's almost made up out of like loose breast strokes. But then, you know, the details added in where they need to be. The shadows, like in the eye and the mouth. So good. Yeah, no, I definitely have heard of Nathan Fowlkes. So for all of my, I don't know any of these fucking artists. I've heard of this guy because I've seen his portraits and stuff before, like that. Oh, just, you can see he had a piece of charcoal lines here just pulling out, but it makes the texture and shit. That's really, really difficult to do, and it's done really well there. More cityscapes and stuff. That's really cool. I assume that's all digital. Digital paintings. No, I do like. There's some really good digital art out there. This is a good example of that. It's really, really nicely done. That's cool. It's like The Road, but like another level. If you've seen or read that. Neat. Some of the stuff in this book, it's just like, it does look very concept arty. Like, this sort of stuff's cool, but not to my tastes. Like, it's good, but meh. It's very cool, but it's meh. But every now and again, there's some like cool shit, like that guy. This is cool. I recognise the look of the artwork, but I don't recognise the name. It's really neat. Acrylic paintings, and that. The colours in that, man. It's insane. The baby clutching to him with the eye going weird. To get those colours in there. Using a different colour outline, like a lighter outline there. Orange and the blues. That's bananas. And it's an ape, so it fits in a way. That's insane. Penis. It really, really is insane. Like, I paint with acrylics and I do what I can, you know. I don't consider myself a painter, but I do what I can. But when it comes to stuff like this, like, that's another level, a whole other, like, levels and levels above what I'm just about able to do. That's cool. I love crabs. There's a thing, I don't know if you've seen it, but like crabs have evolved like a bunch of different times over, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. Different life forms have evolved into crabs or crab type beings as their final stage of evolution, or like, you know, what was known to become their final stage of evolution. So I guess the crab bodies are like a thing that is just really well made and well designed. And there's actually one of my favourite books is Time Machine by H.G. Wells, who wrote War of the Worlds and a bunch of other shit. But there's apparently he rushed the end of the book, so he'd made the book The Time Machine, and then there's a bit at the end where he gets into the time machine again finally and just presses forward and zips through time, and the world around him is just collapsing and aging and dying off. So all life on the planet is dead, and it's this barren landscape. And he goes forward again to the point where I think it's like a red desert, like the Earth has become like this red desert. It's on its last legs. Planet is almost dead. And then he sees these like giant crabs slowly walking around the landscape. And I think that's such a cool visual. It's my favourite part of the book is where he describes, you know, the nearing the end of the planet's life. Like, human life has died out fucking millennia, millennia ago, whatever. And all life is dead, but then these beings, these life forms, these fucking amoebas or whatever have grown into just these big crabs that now just exist on the planet, on what's left of the planet. I think that's really, really, really cool. Some cool sketches. It's pretty funny, but like, cool. You can see that as like DreamWorks concept illustration sort of stuff. Landscapes. And, I mean, obviously they're very well painted, but you know. What's that one? Those are cool. Really neat little characters. They're all pretty decent. I like them. That's funny. Cartoonist. That's really cool. That's pretty insane. Detail and the figures and stuff. Looks like Samurai Jack or whatever. Not that I know. Or does it? Does it look like something like Samurai Jack but isn't Samurai Jack? I don't know. I never even watched Samurai Jack. That's cool. I like that. I remember that was one of my favourite pictures from the book when I looked at it years and years ago. Pigeon with a jetpack. Good shit. Cool. Funny little things. It's pretty decent. I've got time for stuff like that. It's cool. A mixture of ink and I guess washes and thick cracking paint on there. Pretty cool. Just random observational studies and stuff. It's quite cool. Pretty decent. Like that. Grey tones. Nice. Like, it flows nicely. And then same with this one. It's a nice sort of, it's a good spread. Good spread. I mean, it's well done, but yeah. Pretty good. I think this book's really cool because it's a look into artwork by people who do artwork for a living but don't necessarily get to express themselves with the artwork they do for a living. So it's really cool to see what they do in their off time, you know. But I think the downfall of this book is it's a lot of just like okay artwork. There's very few pieces that are like amazing artwork. Not that the book needs to be every page be amazing artwork. I mean, it's almost impossible to do that, and it would be silly if it was. But I guess that's not the point of the book. But I assume that's why my friend handed me this book after she was done with it, because she was like, yeah, it's a bunch of good artwork, but like, I don't know if it's the sort of book you'd necessarily keep going back to again and again to be like, oh, I have to look through that book again. I've got a few art books like that I will just, you know, sit and stare at for hours and hours and hours again and again and again, because either I love the artist or I love the artwork itself or particular pieces or whatever. But I think this is one of those books that's like, it's good, but you know, once you've looked through it, you can go, yeah, that's pretty cool. But you know, actually, I think a book like this would be really good if you find one or two artists or a handful of artists in here that you really like the work of. You can then go and find more work by them. That might be a good way to do it. I don't know. That's cool. I like that. Is that pencil drawing and digital painting? It looks like there's texture in there. It looks like an actual painting, but I guess it's not. Oh, and that's sweet. Should have ended it on the elephant, but that's pretty cool. Nice little watercolour by Chris Applehans. That was an art book. We took a look at an art book. Trying to paint as much of this as I can in a short space of time, but it's a tricky thing to do, man. Especially when there's like all the veins and shit. You want to, you know, part of me wants to say like, just fucking throw the paint down, get it done. And that's what I want more of my comics to look like. But then at the same time, it's like, well, I want to make it look good. Which is, that's, you know, there's an art tip. It's something I've learned. Because I used to do it a lot when I was, you know, learning art, I guess, as a teenager. Like drawings made out of scribbles, where you just scribble loads and then you pull a drawing out of it. That shit can be good, but it can also look really, really shitty. Even if you're being quick and scribbly, you've got to know where to put the lines to make it look good. Because if you just throw random lines everywhere, it is going to look bum. But if you have, you know, take a little bit of time, even if you're doing scribbles, take a little bit of time, make sure you know where the lines are going and why they're going where they're going. You're going to have a much better looking image. So whilst I want to have my comic, you know, painted quick and messy, I think I need to practice painting like that a bit more to know that, you know, it's going to look good. Especially with Gun Viking, there is, you know, some kind of story to it, but ultimately I just want it to look cool. So if I haven't done that, then I will feel like I've failed in my goal. So I put some purples and pinks down here underneath. Oh, that's what I was saying, yeah. The dark red over the drawing. Some purples and pinks in like the underparts just to give it a little bit of colour and depth to it. And then just paint the skin tones in over that. Get a couple of highlight layers on. And then that should be pretty much good to go. These bulges, man, I'm so unsure. I should be able to do it like once you get those white hotspot highlights I always talk about. I think once I've put those on, like each of these bubbles or whatever, I think it should look quite cool. But that's still like a hope. This is still, I mean, it may not seem it, but it is a little bit experimental for me. So let's see where it goes. See how it goes. See how it comes out. In each bit of this at the moment that I'm painting, I'm trying to like lean back and look at it as a whole, because I don't want it to look too much like it's made up of random segments. I do want them all to work together. So again, that's all part of making it look cool. So this, I need this to be like a line there for that to work. And then there's going to be a bit of underlighting on this side of the arm. Which I can usually do that pretty well, so that should be fine. I was going to say something about the book. God damn it. I don't know, it's gone completely. I've lost it. I've lost it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having the book done, finally. It's been years in the making, man, so hopefully I'll get some of that like serotonin or whatever people talk about. That elusive thing that's out there, allegedly. It'd be nice to have at least a little bit. I'll get my bookie book done. Oh, that's what I was going to say, rather than just babbling on. Something I want to do, something I think would be great to do, would be to, and it's just an idea, I'm not planning on actually doing it, but it's just, you know, one of those thoughts people have. I'd love to do like a book signing, to like go somewhere, have all my new book, people come along, hang out, talk, buy books, more importantly, get them signed, you know, hang out, draw, whatever. I'd love to do that, but I think like, if I was to do that now, because I'm not a famous guy, so it's not going to be a big deal, but I think a couple of people would show up, like maybe 2 or 3. But then it's like I may as well just contact those 2 or 3 people to hang out, rather than have like a whole book signing. Because if I have a book signing and no one shows up, then it's funny. Because if literally no one shows up and it's just me, and you know, I'll maybe have a friend there just so I'm not completely on my own, then yeah, we can just hang out and laugh about it and it's cool. If I do that and a bunch of people show up, then it's like, fuck, okay, this was far bigger than I hoped it would be. This is great, wow, amazing. But then, if I have a book signing and like a couple of people show up, I'll feel silly. I'll be like, why did I even bother? What was the, you know, it's a nice idea, but in practice, that's looking okay, but it's a little bit, I don't know if it's working for me, to be honest. I don't want to have to redo the whole fucking page. But I think what I might do, because I've spoken before about, you know, doing a live or something, going live on YouTube or whatever. I think with that, it's something I planned to do and wanted to do, but never really thought like, I don't just want to, you know, go on live and draw, like that's what I do anyway. It seems a bit pointless. So I thought what I'll do is when I get the book, I'll do a live like unboxing, looking at the book, going through the book, showing everyone what it is, and then get to see the book. Obviously, I won't show you too much because I still want people to buy it, and hopefully they will still buy it. Which is, again, I hate money, and I don't want money. I don't want it to have to be a thing, but it just is a thing. I need to eat. I need heating right now. That's important. So at the moment, getting the book finished is a priority, but a large part of that comes from selling it so I can make money to live, basically. I'd love to, make enough just in general from commissions or whatever that I don't have to worry about it necessarily. But I have the time and money to just focus on my own shit. And that's a goal. That's, can't expect that shit to just happen out of nowhere. So that's a goal, is to get to a point where the money coming in is not huge, but like enough that I don't have to worry about making money. The money's fine. Making money is quick and easy and fine, which affords me the time and whatever to really focus on the big shit, like making dope ass comics and stuff. Because especially with Gun Viking, I already want to start on the next like couple of stories I've got in my head. But after I finish this, I'm going to have to focus on commissions for a while. I've got that How to Draw Comics book I want to do. I'm going to have to do a bunch of other drawings to sell. And then maybe towards the end of the year, I might be able to start the next Gun Viking story, maybe. I'll have to see how that goes. And I am going to be sending Gun Viking, the final book, the trade paperback to like Image Comics, IDW, Titan Books, just anyone who I think, not that they might publish it, but just anyone that publishes, independent creator-owned comics. Because that would be pretty fucking cool, wouldn't it? If nothing else, it would be a weight off my shoulders of like, they'll handle the distribution and everything. I really slurred that one, didn't I? They will handle the distribution and everything, which is difficult to say the least. Like, it's cool self-publishing books and shit, but then having to, package them up, get the addresses and everything on, take them to the post office. And that's something you have to take into account with money as well, is it ends up costing a lot to send them all out. If it's like 100 or more books, a couple 100 books, it all adds up. And that's fine, like when you start being like an independent freelance artist or whatever, that's cool. That's something you enjoy, that aspect of it, but it doesn't last. It becomes just, part of the job, and then it's like, oh yeah, I've got to take all these orders, and it's a lot. And after you've just spent months fucking making a book, putting it together, you want to just fucking sit down and chill. But then there's all this extra work of actually selling the book. It's a whole thing. And I'm not complaining, because again, I'm hugely grateful that I get to do that. But it's a lot of work. And I don't know, I don't want to talk down to people at all. I don't assume I know loads of shit that no one else knows. But I speak about it, from experience, just saying this is how I experience it. So, I don't know where I was going with that. Penis. Do you know I'd never had a wet dream? There you go, there's some news. I remember in school, it was like a big deal. Like, I was even scared about it. Because, especially in a religious household where sex stuff, you just don't talk about sex stuff. It doesn't come up. I can't mention, anything to do with sexual health with my mum or anything, because it's like big taboo. cannot do it. So I was terrified of like, well, I don't know what cum looks like. This is when I was, 12 years old, before I'd ever actually come. I don't know what cum looks like. I don't know if it's going to be a huge mess, if it's going to ruin my sheets and then I have to try and hide them or burn them or whatever. What the fuck? Once as a kid I had really bad skid marks in my underwear. I don't know how or why it happened. I didn't shit myself. I guess some came out when I farted or something without me realising. Put my underwear in the wash thinking, I didn't see it, that it was on there, thinking nothing of it. And then my mum came to me and she said, quite angrily, holding the underwear, "Don't ever let me see you get your underwear like this again." Like, I guess she figured I'd worn them too much and got them all shitty and just finally threw them in the wash. I assume that's where she was coming from. She wasn't being like, "Don't ever poo, it's bad." But that's sort of a sign of, I'm not trying to talk bad about my mum. I'm just saying, in general, you should come to your child with that. If you're going to approach them with it, be like, "What happened to your underwear? Why are they so brown? What is wrong with you?" And that was one of the rare occasions I wear white underwear, because I generally don't, or didn't and don't. So it was extra bad because of that. But yeah, you come to your kid and you say, "What happened?" And then, I would have, had that been the situation, I said, "I don't know. Some must have slipped out. I don't know." But it was just straight away, like, angry. "Don't let me see that happen again." Like, oh, okay. And that was just a bit of poo. So if it was like something sex related, fucking cum in my sheets, God knows. Like, yeah, you just don't talk about that. So I was terrified of the prospect of wet dreams, because all the kids talk about them at school, like it's this big deal. But even to this day, to the best of my knowledge, not once, never once had a single wet dream. I don't know. I see it as being like, I've got my shit together and I just I come when I want to come, not when I'm in bed going having some sexy dream and I just can't hold it in and it just goes in my pants, because I wear pants and shit when I sleep. I don't sleep naked because what if the house burns down and I'm in bed and I have to get out of bed naked? Can't be doing that. Got to wear clothes in bed, fully clothed, socks on, my shoes next to my bed ready to go at a moment's notice. Got my bug out bag right by the door so I can grab that on my way out if I need to. I was a scared kid, man. I was a scared little boy. And a lot of that is coming up in therapy. Just being scared as a boy constantly. Because, I lived in a house with somebody who strangled me into having an asthma attack. Among other things. That was just one instance. So I was literally terrified the entire time I was at home. I was terrified while that person was in the home. And then when that person wasn't in the home, I was terrified because I knew they'd be in the home eventually. So there was literally no rest. I was just scared always as a child, which affected a lot of, me growing up, being scared of everything. It's probably why I have still never learnt to drive. I had swimming lessons, but I'm terrified of water, so I never really stuck to it or tried, because why am I going to do that? I'm terrified. I'm not going to try and swim. I don't want to swim. It's scary. I don't want to fucking do that shit. Jesus. So that's, that's why I'm glad I never had a wet dream, because what the fuck am I supposed to do if I do have one? Christ. It's quite funny how opposed to religion I am. I say Christ all the time. I invoke the Lord's name constantly. But I don't see it as like taking it in vain or anything, because, he didn't exist.